So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Galaxy of the Stars. It is,
No, it's not. It's the virtual chapter. Galaxy Stars is coming up.
well, that's what's on my mind. Isn't that interesting? Welcome to the virtual chapter for January
I
2020.
just have I just have to stop you for a moment and point out Michael has now become the hypno rock star because rock stars do so many trainings, do so much stuff, they go to so many places, they forget where they are. And they'll say hi to Washington when they're in Boston, right? That's what we just experienced here. The rock star hypnotist.
If this is Tuesday, it must be Belgium.
Right. Or virtual chapter. So I'm sorry, back to the chapter. I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt.
Well, okay, it's January 2025. Just let me get that in there. 2025. You know, the cool thing at the beginning of every year, at least in my history, up until maybe 5 years ago, at the beginning of every year, the thing that I had to remember was when you write a check, that the digit changes at the end of the year. Well, guess what? No problem. I don't write any checks anymore. And I don't know. Actually, it's not true. I write one check a month. So maybe some of you do the same, and I bet I can remember. So, and Karen, I've got to tell you, I need to figure this out so that I can announce it officially maybe next month. I still don't know exactly when it is that you joined the virtual chapter. And what happens is I have it on my calendar in about four different places. So it's popped up again today and says that on this day in 2017, you made your first appearance on the virtual chapter. So this may be your anniversary.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that we should institute a new rule, and when it pops up on your calendar, we have an anniversary celebration of some sort.
all right. So this is about six different times throughout the course of the year, you understand. So
I like to celebrate, so let's do that.
well,
Why not?
excellent. That'll be perfect. All right, so I've got just one little thing for the calendar, and then Karen, I don't know if you have any calendar things to talk about,
I
but I
do.
do want to mention that the Galaxy of the Stars, that thing that I thought we were having already, I was just so excited about it, is coming up. It is the 15th and 16th of February, and boy, do we have a lineup for you. We have Doug O'Brien of NLP Excellence is going to kick off the program on Saturday morning and teach us. He's written a new book on storytelling and hypnosis, and it should be really excellent. He's gonna give us some ways to put together, meaningful, useful metaphors and stuff like that. Then he's going to be followed up by Kaz Riley, who will talk to us about sexuality, and this is going to be a great thing. The next morning on Sunday, we start out with Sharon Waxkirsch, who's doing medical hypnosis, and many of you know Sharon. She's really a lovely lady and a great presenter with some cool things to say. And then, just to make sure that we finish off with a full bang, we're going to have Karen Hand, who's going to talk about dehypnotizing her subjects. And this is going to be great. And everybody's got techniques and all kinds of stuff for you to learn. And it's 2 days, and I think it's $129. You can't beat the price tag for full two full days of training. So please do come to that. And what do you got for us, Karen?
I've got this, I believe it, this Sunday is the 19th, right? February 19th. I mean, January 19th, January 19th. I will be doing the Elman Legacy Cafe, talking about hypnosis happens before and after the induction. So join me in the Elman Legacy Cafe on Sunday. I don't know exactly where to tell you on Elman's website where to register for that, but you can go to my website, karenhand.com slash conferences. There you go. And that'll get you to the Elman Legacy Cafe registration. That's free, I believe. So join me in the Elman Legacy Cafe and we'll talk about how where hypnosis happens before and after we step in as hypnotists. That's what I got going on. I'm doing a certification training. I've got this is kind of a weird woo-woo story for me, but I got contacted by two women in December, both of them named Christina, sent to me by a hypnotist in the area because they wanted certification training. I haven't done training in a long time, and I was kind of poo-pooing certifying. I like teaching advanced hypnosis, but certifying, I got these two Christinas who contacted me in the month of Christmas.
Mm.
They both live in the area. They both wanted to work either in person or on Zoom, any way we wanted to do it. And I went, you know what? This is a sign. This sounds like a lot of fun. So I called them. I said, can we put this thing together? By the way, they have known each other through a sister. One of sister is a friend of the other one. They've known each other. They connected. It's an amazing thing. And this is such an amazing class. I've got these two women that I had here in my office for 2 days live and in person. I haven't done anything live and in person since the pandemic. Boy, was it fun. And so we spent those 2 days together, and now we're going to do the rest of it on Zoom. And it's just a thrilling, thrilling, thrilling thing. So, anyway, that's what's going on. And I didn't mean to go all woo woo and share that with you, but it was just so cool.
Oh, hey, no, that's very exciting. I'm just wondering if you're going to call them Big Christina and Little Christina.
It's funny. We had to come up with something. So it is CO and Tina. But
Oh,
met somebody as another, but they had to have nicknames, and that's the nicknames they came up with. But it's like saying don't think of a dancing pink elephant. First, Christina comes up. I have to cancel out Christina to bring up Tina, or cancel out Christina to bring up CO. That's how hypnosis happens in the wild. Hypnosis is the most natural thing in the world because what have I done? Just like bringing up, don't see a dancing pink elephant, we have to do that and cancel it out if you say don't see one. We do that naturally all the time. To come up with a nickname, I have to cancel something out. Hypnosis happens, my friends, all the time. We're doing it naturally every day, all the time.
all right.
Stepped off my soapbox for a moment.
Well, it's a well-oiled soapbox, so continue with that. So anyway, it's lovely to be here, and I believe I don't mean to push you. So if you got something else that you want to do beforehand, but I know that you've got a topic you want to share a little bit with us about, and
Well, I do. Yeah, I'm going to make this very quick. I just want to share this one thing with you because Dan really is the star tonight. Everybody came here to see Dan, and he's going to really jumpstart us, get us moving for the new year. I just want to say one brief thing as we're talking about hypnosis. I believe, and all I can do is share with you my BS, my belief system. I believe that we are always in some sort of trance or another, and that we are always hypnotizing ourselves. The way we talk to ourselves, I can't, is self hypnosis. It's the most common self hypnosis we do all day. So I wanted to play a little word game with you because you know how much I like words. I wanted to play a little word game with you. So if you don't mind, if you have a piece of paper and a pencil, grab something that you can just write on for a minute. And I want you to think about a goal that you might have for the year, any kind of goal that you might have, something that you want to do with your year, if it's an intention for the year, if it's your word for the year, just think about that goal for the year, what you want, what you're wanting. Now, as you think about that goal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a sort of sentence. And as I do, I'm going to put different words in that sentence. As I do, I want you to add your goal to it. So something want to lose weight. Whatever it is. All right, put your goal there. And you don't have to write it down, but what I really want you to do is listen to the word that I use and see how that resonates with you as you think about your goal, using that word that I'm using and your goal together. And notice how that resonates with you and give it a number on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 being, wow, that resonates, or 0, doesn't really have much of an impact on me. Does that make sense? So we'll do it like this. I'm going to say something like, I want, and you add your goal to it. I want. Let's just start with I want. So I want, add your goal. And how does that resonate on a scale of 1 to 10? I want, how does that resonate with you? I like the idea of, or I'd like to, add your goal. Like, I'd like, I like. I can, add your goal. I can. I can. How does that resonate with you? I need. I need to. I need. I need. I have to. I have to. I have to. I must. I must have your goal. I must. I should. I should. I should. I will. I will. I will. I do. I do. I do. And only one more now. I am. Have your goal. I am. I am. Did you notice that some of the words resonated with you more than others? Anybody want to share with me? Who wants to open up your mic and share a little bit? Anybody else? This is such a fun bunch. This is such a familiar group. Come on, somebody open up your microphone and we'll just talk this through a little bit.
I'll do it. Go.
Okay. Leah, I heard you say I'll do it first. Mary Beth, thank you for volunteering too. Dan was going to go along. Okay. Was there a particular word that really resonated with you?
Will.
Will? What do you mind sharing your goal?
That
You don't
I
have to.
will. Yeah.
Okay.
My goal is 150 well-paying clients in 2025.
Great. And so I will have, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one gave you, what number did that one get?
That one got a 10.
What was your lowest scoring number?
It was tied between have to and must.
I have to and I must. Notice the difference there. When we have regular conversations with other people, when we have regular conversations with ourselves, we use all kinds of words. We're pulling words out of thin air all day long, right? That we're using. And as we're talking to us, man, I must do this or I must do that. Man, I really got to do this. Man, I have to do that. If we're not reaching our goals, maybe it's because we're not using the right words. Maybe we're not talking to ourselves in a way that really resonates with where we want to go with something. So if we're saying I have to, and it's not resonating with us, maybe we want to turn that over to I will. I will. Now, Leah, some people, I'm not saying that I say this, but some people might say that will puts it into the future and you never come up to that. Tell me how will, because to me, I'm just saying for me, I will do this is an affirmative. I'm doing it. It's not in the future. For me, it's yes, this is a done deal. I'm doing it. How does that word resonate with you?
I honestly didn't think of it in future tense until you just said it.
But you were thinking of it in present tense. So that was a strong, I will get this done. Yes?
Yeah. And put all the actions in place to get there. So.
Hypnotists, I want you to really notice that. Because some of us walk around with the belief that if our client says, oh, will, that puts it in the future, it's not going to happen. Let your client decide that. Because what words they use resonate with them. The words that we're putting, saying, no, you can't use, or yes, you must use, or oh, you got to use that, or you have to use that. That's what works for us. So it really benefits us to let your client experience something like this, hear how these words are having impact on them, and then choose the words that actually work best for them. The words you use will have impact with them. Does that make sense? How does that sit with you, Leah? How do you feel about that?
I feel good.
Mary Beth, did you want to share?
Yeah, I did. Because my first word was I will attract more clients. And that word will is making a contract with myself, like you said. So it's a contract with myself. And the next one is I am attracting more clients, just as I put my energy out there. I am currently attracting more clients. And then the third one was I must attract more clients, which doesn't sound as good to me now as it did when I underlined it.
Don't let anything that we talked about with these words influence the way you interpreted it, Mary Beth. You interpreted it your way. It resonated with you, which is why I think it's so important for me to ask my clients how things resonate with them, because I'm not a mind reader. So I got to hear how they're relating to something. Boy, did you tip us off to some important words to use with you as we're doing hypnosis processes, right? Those are words that your brain is already using, already processing, already has meaning to. I worked with a client one day years ago on weight release. I like to call it that rather than loss, because if you lose something, you always want to get it back, right? On weight release. And she said, what she said to me, she wanted was, I want to be a size 8. Cool. I didn't have to ask anything else. I said, so tell me about being a size 8. What's a size 8? She went into the size 8 trance and started telling me exactly how a size 8 behaves, how a size 8 walks, how a size 8 looks, what a size 8 does, who she flirts with, yada, yada, yada. And she said, I would sashay across the room. And I said, oh my gosh, sashay, what is a sashay? Can you show me? She got out of her chair and she sashayed across the room. I didn't give her that suggestion. She gave me the suggestion to help her embody that sachet. So we got up and tried it right there. She sashayed across the room. And I said, oh my gosh, I wonder if you can do that for a couple of laps around the office. And she did. And she stood. And I said, tell me what's going on there. She said, I'm so proud of myself. And I feel so good. I wonder if you can sit down as a size 8. And she did. And I was curious. I wonder if you can do that all day. She said, this is so much fun. I'm going to do it. She came, and we never talked about food. We never talked about anything. We came back the next week and she had lost 3 pounds and said she flirted with a guy on an elevator as she was leaving the office that day because she was a size 8. And she had so much fun being a size 8, she pretended to be a size 8 all week and even ate differently. That's when you're listening to the client, taking what they come up with, how they're hypnotizing themselves and what they can do with it, and turning that into a hypnosis process in my BS. So that list of words, I don't know if anybody has any questions about it or if that was helpful or if you'd like to have it. Michael, did you want to say something about that?
I just have a really quick sort of, I don't know if it's a question or a comment. It probably is a comment. I really was impressed by the fact that words like should and must. Now, this is again for Michael, right? But the words like should and must and have to really resonated with me in the same way that words like will. So because it wasn't a question of which seemed more positive or which seemed more attractive or anything. It was which just really seemed to have the bigger charge to it. And so a lot of stuff. So many of us might think, oh, we just want to say all kinds of lovely, positive things to our client. And again, find out what motivates them, what it is that works for them. And, sometimes the shoulds are worth having.
Well, yeah, I would go along with Louise Hay and say, stop shoulding all over yourself. But boy, that Michael likes to roll around down in there.
Yeah. Well, not only that, Louise had to know when she wrote "Stop Shooting All Over Yourself" that it was going to have impact.
That's right. Again, I say, ask your clients, find out what your clients have to say, and they will tell you everything they need to make those adjustments.
Lovely.
If you'd like that, let me know. Send me an email. I'll send you that word list if you want to use that with your clients. Karen@KarenHand.com. I don't think I had this up on my website. Boy, I'd love to, do something to motivate you to go to my website and look at products and stuff. I don't think I have it. So if you'll just send me an email, Karen@KarenHand.com, I'll just send you that through the snail mail email thing. And for the people in the recording too, if I get it up on the website, I'll send you a link to that, but I don't have it there. I'll just send you the handout. So Is there anybody who would be offended, since we have Dan here already, if we just cut this little feature portion short and jump right into it? Dan, that would give you an extra, I don't know, 7 minutes. I'll bet you can handle that and do something with that, can you not? I'll bet you can.
7 minutes of heaven.
All right. Well, let's get to it because that's what we're all here for anyway. And what a way to kick off 2025. Dan Candell, known as the anxiety relief guy, is a board certified hypnotist, high performance expert, and best selling author who's helped over 10,000 clients worldwide break free from high functioning anxiety with a unique blend of modern hypnotic strategies, NLP, energy psychology, and unconscious coaching. Dan specializes in empowering high achievers, entrepreneurs, executives, and leaders to overcome stress and mental blocks. Yeah, they have them too. How about it? He teaches fellow hypnotists how to grow their businesses through group hypnosis and his subconscious sync method. And he's a columnist for A Fresh Perspective on Hypnotism. Dan's engaging and humorous approach inspires deep transformation while making personal breakthroughs both fun and effective. And I will say he is absolutely one of my favorite hypnotists in the entire world. I think he's one of the best in the business. He's going to help us jumpstart here through multiple streams of income for hypnotists to level up our businesses in the new year. Now, Dan, I know that you've got things to say here. I know we're going to talk about sometimes a stuck mindset, but I do want to ask you one thing too as we get into this. And I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's toes or hurting anything, but Dan has become famous on TikTok as the anxiety relief guy. Is there any fear or anxiety about all of this TikTok takeaway talk?
You know what, Karen? I'm so glad you brought this up because a year ago today, my TikTok was actually banned and revoked. It was taken away from me because I was doing a a challenge all about health anxiety. And I posted a link in my bio for people to sign up for my health anxiety workshop. And that got flagged by TikTok, and my TikTok was taken away. And you know what I felt from that, Karen? Relief. Because I was posting videos every single day. I had a following of over 250,000 people. So I'm like, this is actually a good thing. I can rebuild and I can rebrand. And here's why I wanted to rebuild and rebrand. Because we all have the anxious clients that have agoraphobia. They can't leave their house. They're on the non-functional side. I love those people. However, they usually can't pay us very much. And so sometimes I take on pro bono clients who are in that situation. So I'm like, I can rebrand. So I rebranded with high functioning anxiety and I made another TikTok all about high functioning anxiety. But then TikTok reached out to me and said, we're giving you your account back because we made a mistake. So, Karen, if TikTok gets banned, here's what I teach my clients. These 4 shifts. And I'm going to be sharing about this at hypnosis conferences coming up. I'll be at the ICBCH hypnosis conference. If you're there, by the way, stick around for my closing keynote because it's going to be a tearjerker. But one of the things I share a lot are these 4 principles and concepts that you apply to your life and you'll end your relationship with stress and anxiety. And these 4 concepts are radical proactive acceptance, trust, patience, and letting go. And when you apply those 4 mindset shifts to everything that you do and you make those a constant practice in your life, all of a sudden, life doesn't seem as difficult. It doesn't seem as triggering anymore. I actually just taught this to my therapist earlier today. She said, because she has a lot of, we'll say, political anxiety. And her and I talk about it a lot. And she said, what would you say to a client if they came in and they had anxiety with everything going on with people in LA, with politics, with the current state of the world, with like the whole TikTok thing? And I said, you know what? Proactive radical acceptance, trust that you have the strength to work through whatever we got to work through, the patience as well. When we have patience, we can practice restraint. Sometimes we want to draw a big target on the wall that says bang head here. And sometimes we want to take other people and bang their head there. So patience allows us to practice restraint, and then we have letting go. Letting go of what we talked about earlier tonight, the musts, the shoulds, the demands, the obligations. Never masturbate on yourself. We should stop the masturbation. We can stop the shoulding on ourselves. Letting go of expectation, obligation, demands. All of those things, when we let go of all those, it releases the pressure. That was a long way to answer your question, Karen, but if TikTok was banned, here's what would happen. We'd rebuild. We'd find another platform, which I'm doing right now, and we'd move on. Thank you for asking that.
I'm so delighted that you said that, because I've had a couple of mentoring students. I've started getting all of these followers on TikTok. I've gotten 50% of my business off TikTok. What am I going to do? And that's exactly what I said. You're going to rebrand. You're going to do exactly what you did going into TikTok. And I'll get to say, call Dan Candell. He knows.
We rebuild. So I'm actually going to give people some resources tonight so you can start building your own following on whatever platform you want. And that's part of multiple streams of income for hypnotists.
So please take it away.
All right, my friends. I am super excited about this. I don't know if you're aware of this, but it is a full moon tonight. I've had every friend call me today in a panic. I've had everything that could possibly happen and potentially go wrong today go wrong. This is one of the things that worked out really, really well, is us all being on here tonight and collaborating. So before we even get into any content, is it okay if we just do a little somatic exercise to just kind of relax the nervous system and downregulate the nervous system? Is that okay if we do that? Okay. This is what I call the somatic reset. This is actually what got me on national TV. I was on a TV show last year in Cincinnati, Ohio. And one of the clients who's in my group program, he is a CEO of a television network company. He's a media buyer, and his network, or I should say his company, owns 180 networks. So he's a client of mine, and he said, "You've helped me so much, I want to help you." So he put me on TV. So I'm going to show you the thing that got me on TV and the thing I did there. And this helps so many clients downregulate their nervous system and just let go a little bit. Here's how this works. I'd like everyone to cross your arms just like this. As you cross your arms like this, wonderful. We're not, now the typical havening, if you know the havening, is to do this. We're not going to do that. We're going to alternate like this, back and forth. The reason why we do this is because it also incorporates some more bilateral stimulation, right? Now, as we're doing this, consciously lower your shoulders as you're doing this. The reason why we lower our shoulders is because if you think about it, when we're stressed, we're walking around like this with our elbows up to our ears. So as you lower your shoulders just like that, you're going to notice that automatically sends a signal that we're just going to chill out. We're going to do a reset. That's exactly what this is. It's a mindset reset, a somatic reset, a nervous system reset. Now, let's slow the rub down. Let's slow this down. Good. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to slowly close our eyes and slowly open them. We're going to do that 3 times. Ready? 1, go. Slowly close your eyes as you continue rubbing your arms back and forth. And now slowly open them as if you're waking up from a nice restful sleep. Oh, wonderful. And slowly close your eyes again. Slowly close your eyes again. Good. And now slowly open your eyes as you're just waking up from a beautiful, restful nap. Good. And one more time, just slowly close those eyes. Good. Excellent. And one more time, slowly open those eyes just like that. Good. Now, just like you were getting ready for something, let's rub our hands together back and forth like this. Just rub our hands together back and forth. Let's like flow a little bit. Good. Just like this. Good. And as we're doing this, let's breathe in for 5. Let's hold for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Let's exhale long. Good. And now let's just kind of expand. There we go. Just expand. Good. Just like that. Just kind of move your shoulder blade and expand. Good. Perfect. And wiggle, wiggle. Awesome. Good. Wiggle, 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 whack. Good. All right. Good. Wonderful. This is a great, wasn't that nice? Wasn't that really nice? It's just a nervous system reset, a mindset reset of sorts. I do this with my clients all the time. You could use this as an induction. You could use this as a reset for them. If they're in story and they're going, and then my husband screamed at me and he stopped cleaning everything. He's not doing the dishes. And then my kids tracked mud all over the place. Pump the brake, cupcake. Just do this. Let's just do this. We're just going to shift. But what about, no. We're zip, shift. Okay. And we just shift into that. It is absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. It is a beautiful way just to shift. Okay. Get shift. We make shift happen, right? We're all about the shift happening, right? Even if you shift your pants, that's okay. All right. That's okay. So if all you did was take something like that, record it on a video, you talk about the benefits of it. Guess what you could do? You could sell that for $10. An exercise to start off your day, an exercise to hypnotize yourself. You could take and record the things that you would normally teach to clients. And you can even have a good friend in the video with you that you're doing this with on video with a good friend as you're leading, guiding them through it, and get feedback and interview them before and after. And there's an actual client session with one of your friends. And again, you could sell this for maybe $10. And what that does, it gets a really good, higher quality client, because now you're selling something to give them a small win, and you're giving them or selling them something bigger. You are the prize. So before we get into multiple streams of income, let's talk about what multiple streams of income are before I go over the specific ones. Many of us, we see clients. And clients ebb and flow, they come and go. And it can be scary when sometimes that faucet dries up. And sometimes, and Michael, I love you, but I heard your yawn. Do you want to mute yourself? I mean, you can totally keep yourself unmuted. I love your bodily functions, but just to, anyway. All right, we're veering
relaxed.
right. we're veering off course. Okay. So it can be a little scary when clients ebb and flow. And there are some people out there sitting in their office or at home. And this, by the way, this is my home studio. This is my home recording podcast studio. This is also where I see clients online if I'm working from home. And people are saying, no one is calling. I don't have any clients. And that can be scary. Raise your hand if that's happened to you before, where all of a sudden, like the client funnel just kind of got turned off. Oh, come on, people. Raise your hands. This has happened to each and every one of us. Absolutely. And now, hopefully, it may have happened earlier in your career. And hopefully now it doesn't happen as much anymore unless you make it happen. Like there are some times I consciously and purposefully turn off that funnel. I'm like, no more. Right? So that happens sometimes. And multiple streams of income allows you to let it flow, to let that income flow more and more. So even when your client funnel shuts off, you're still making an income. And that's a benefit of having multiple streams of income, is not always having to rely on just clients to pay your bills, to fill your pockets, to fill your bank account. Here's the thing. This is where multiple streams of income really saved my behind. Back in 2020, I went through a savage breakup with my ex-partner that I was with for 10 years. At the same time, my dad became incredibly ill. He had emphysema, COPD, and he developed stage 4 lung cancer from years and years of smoking. Which, by the way, guess how he quit smoking? He listened to my Stop Smoking CD, which was another stream of income for me. But he eventually quit smoking, and but it caught up to him when he was in his 70s. So I became his caretaker, and we had a conversation. And he said, he called me Danny. And by the way, there are like 5 people in this world I'm okay with calling me Danny, because that was my dad's thing. And there are some people that it's just natural, like Terry Blome. He just naturally calls me Danny. Paul Ramsey naturally calls me Danny, and just sounds natural. And so my dad, he and I sat down in the beginning of his illness, and we had a candid conversation, and my dad started having the death talk with me. And he's like, Danny, when you prepare my funeral, he's like, just, this is how I want my face to look. And I'm like, well, and little did I know, that was very important information down the road. But I really wanted to be able to be there and take care of my dad. I couldn't do that while I was seeing 10 clients a day. And because I was seeing anywhere between 4, 6 to 10 clients a day. Then I go do a stage hypnosis show. Then I go do a presentation the next night for the insurance company down the road. Then I do a lunch and it was a lot. So I was so busy, I didn't feel like I could take care of my dad. And then I realized I had all these online programs that were just gathering digital dust. And so I started marketing those online programs, and I put them into funnels. So that way, in a funnel is when a person opts in for one thing, you sell them something else, and then you sell them something else, and then you sell them something else. And online marketers. And a lot of people really hated me for that. And a lot of people have really criticized me for that. And you should look at some of the comments and some of the death threats that I got just because I was marketing something online. But it meant I got to be there and take care of my dad. Well, in about 2 years from marketing those online programs, I ran Facebook ads. I sold them at different events that I did. I made $1.6 million in 2 years just from doing online marketing. That was back in 2020, 2021. My dad passed in 2022. The online marketing game changed after that. So ad costs went up, revenue went down, but we still are at a sweet spot. So let's talk a little bit more about multiple streams of income, and I have some notes in the background that I'm going to as well, just to make sure I stay on track. Because if you've seen me present before, you know I tend to veer a little bit, which is part of the fun, I guess. But people are trading time for money, and in the long run, that's very difficult to scale. So I'm going to teach you a few strategies that can help you potentially get paid while you sleep. Now, I'm just going to clear a myth. I don't believe a truly passive income. I just want to put that out there. I really don't believe a truly passive income, or I should say at first. When you get to a really high level, and I had all virtual assistants and everything, I had a marketing team, everybody working for me. I had a team of 12 at one point working for me. You know what I realized? I hate managing people. So at the beginning of this, at the end of 2024, you know what I did? I fired everybody. Everybody. Because I stopped doing what I loved doing. I loved growing the business, my business the way I wanted to grow it. I was becoming managed by my team. My team was telling me what to do. They were managing me. And I'm like, oh no, my business is my baby and you're messing with my baby. So I fired everyone. I took control back over my business. And over the past like 3 weeks, I burned my business to the ground and I'm rebuilding. And I'm super excited about this like new phase. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, I let go of my 1,500 square foot training and hypnosis center. I had 6 offices and a big training room, and I had other people working for me. And in fact, Kim Turgeon, who's on tonight, she was one of the people that were working for me, and I absolutely loved when Kim worked with me. I would say work with me, not work for me. She worked with me. But Kim was not easy to duplicate. I tried to find other people like Kim. Kim eventually ended up going and opening her own practice, and she's very successful at seeing kids and teens. And so, anyway, moving on. So, I let go a lot of stuff in my business so I can grow the way I want to grow and so I can rebrand. But I'm going to teach you some ways tonight where I wouldn't say you make a truly passive income, because I don't really believe in that at first. But I'm going to teach you to make money easier by diving into multiple streams of income. Now, we're going to talk about some that are super easy all the way to slightly more advanced. And some of the old school marketing methods used to be the yellow pages, right? Remember those? Remember the yellow pages? And now we just use them to sit on, right? If we need a booster seat. So there were a lot of old ways to market. Newspaper ads. Now, I don't invest in any of those, and I tried once, and it got me a type of clientele I really didn't want. Another one that used to call me all the time, the golf digest ads. Oh, we produced these pamphlets for the golf course, and we think you'd be great to... There are many gestures I am making below the camera right now that I would love to show all of you, but because this is going to be produced on YouTube, the virtual chapter would get banned. So, um, because they're not going to get you the quality of client that you probably want to get. Instead, and it's not going to position you as an expert. You want to be positioned as the expert. And I will never forget this. One of the ways I used to market was go to BNI. And I stopped going to BNI when my dad, who's a very wise man, he said, "Hey, Danny, you're going to that meeting at 7 a.m. again?" I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "What time you got to get up?" Like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm like, "Dude, I roll out of bed, put on a suit, and like float to this meeting." And he said, "Danny, how does it feel to go and beg for business every Thursday morning at 7 a.m. to people that are never going to buy your services?" Whoa, Dad. Like, that was harsh. But he had a point. So I stopped investing my marketing dollars in those typical networking things. And instead, I started getting paid to network. So instead of going to, and let's dive into the first multiple stream of income: speaking and demonstrational hypnosis. I started as a stage hypnotist. I was 13 years old when I did my first stage show. I wanted nothing to do with helping people. I thought hypnotherapists were stuffy, mean, and hated stage hypnotists. Now I realize we're not like that. If you've been to the ICBCH hypnosis conference, you've probably danced with me on a table and done tequila shots. That's like therapists gone wild. If you've been to HypnoThoughts Live, you know that hypnotherapists are not stuffy curmudgeons like some people, like some stage hypnotists think they are, or think we are, because I also put myself in that category. But I wanted nothing to do with helping people. I just wanted to be a stage hypnotist. So after doing some stage shows, people would come up to me and say, hey, can you help people stop smoking? Can you help people lose weight? Can you help people reduce stress? So I got a couple of hypnotherapy books, read through them, and put together some of my own programs. And I started doing home hypnosis parties. That was my first gateway into clinical hypnosis, home hypnosis parties. I would charge $50 a person, and I would say you have to have at least 10 people. And it's like a Tupperware party, but hypnosis is way cooler than Tupperware. So I would have people that would hire me to go to their homes, and I would do home hypnosis parties where I would just hypnotize people in groups to lose weight. I charge $50 a person. And then I started smartening up when I was about 17. I'm like, if I could do this for one night, I wonder if I could develop a weight loss group and get people to congregate for 4 weeks. And it happened. So I charged $50 per week per person. And I live in an area where I'm surrounded by a lot of rich towns in Massachusetts. So I went to this really big house that had a huge living room, and there were about 15, 16 people there that stayed for 4 weeks, and they paid me $50 a session. And there were, like I said, like 12 or 15 people there. So I was making pretty good money from just doing group sessions. Now, people also wanted to work with me privately as well. I said, why not? So I developed another business called Hypnotic House Calls because I was too young to have an office. So I would just go to people's houses and just hypnotize them individually in their houses. But that was a precarious situation because I would work with a lot of teens and a lot of college students. Now this would never fly. But then the moms would say to me, oh, here's my 17-year-old teenage son who's a football player who's built like Adonis, like a Greek god. Just hypnotize him in my bed. I'm a gay man, okay? Let me explain something to you. As a horny 17-year-old, that was very difficult to do. But I did it. I sat there and hypnotized 17-year-old Joey. I was 17 too. I would hypnotize 17-year-old Joey, and we do great work. And it would be all about academic improvement and focus and everything like that. So this is where I then started to explore how can I turn my hypnosis shows and my demonstrations into multiple streams of income. So a couple of things happened. I started doing hypnosis shows and started doing presentations where I would get hired to do them because I'd charge less. I'd charge like where other people are charging $1,500, I'd charge like $300 or $400. But I would turn the end of my hypnosis show into a sales pitch. And I would sell CDs at the end of my show. And sometimes I'd sell more in CDs than the other hypnotists are making for the shows. And then when I did open up my first office, I said, well, wait a minute. What if I don't just sell CDs? What if I get people kind of into my network, into my funnel? So I started doing lead magnets. And now every hypnosis show that I do, every presentation that I give, every keynote that I give, I have a call to action at the end. And the call to action is usually this. Hey, if you would like a free audio hypnosis session, or if you would like to learn my secret keys to success in hypnotizing yourself, I have a free guide that teaches you exactly how to do what I just did to these people up here tonight, but to do it on yourself. And I tell everybody, take out your phones, go to Dan is here. Don't do this now. This is not for you. This is for people who attend my presentations. So go to danishere.com. It's going to look like Danish ear, but it's danishere.com. And the last show I did was Saturday night. It was for a funeral home. Don't ask. I knocked him dead. 1, 2, 3, rigor mortis. Oh, it worked. Anyway, so so the last show I did was for a funeral home. I used a different lead magnet for them. I'll show you which one I used for them. The one I did before them was for a realtor holiday party for a group of realtors, mortgage brokers, and loan officers. So I put together a lead magnet or video on how to use self-hypnosis to sell more houses and close more deals. You think I got almost everybody to sign up for that? Yeah. There were about 180 people at that show. I believe I got 118 out of 180 to sign up for that. When they sign up for that, you have a choice as to what you want to sell them. You can sell them private sessions. You can sell them audios. You can sell them videos. You can sell them a package deal. You can sell them a book. But now you have their information. And that is invaluable. So I started, that's actually how I started growing my Facebook group, my Facebook fan page. My opt-in when I was younger was go like me on Facebook, and I'll post the videos and the clips from tonight's show. You don't have to be a stage hypnotist, though. In Las Vegas, I'm going to be teaching about powerful, profitable presentations in March. But you don't even have to attend that presentation. Here's what I'd like you to know about doing your own demos and presentations, which, by the way, is another stream of income. Look at the things that are so boring to us. Eye catalepsy. Ugh. We see this shit every day, don't we? Arm catalepsy. Finger magnets. All these little suggestibility tests or concentration tests, we see these every single day, or we at least know about them. Arms rising and falling. How boring, right? But here's the thing. Muggles don't see that every day. To them, that's fascinating. So what I do when I'm doing just a demonstration, I do either the finger magnets or an arms rising and falling. And then I'll bring about 5 or 6 people up. I'll sit them in chairs, and they're the ones that responded well to these guys. I'll bring about 5 or 6 people up. I'll sit them in chairs, and I'll say, great. Feeling, close your eyes, take that same feeling, and now your eyes are stuck. And I'll ask them, doesn't that feel weird with their eyes stuck? And you use whatever fancy flowery language. You only try to open your eyes when you're most certain they will remain comfortably closed. You can pretend until you're no longer pretending to pretend that you were pretending in the first place. Use whatever flowery language you want to use to encourage eye catalepsy. And then you go up to each person and you ask them, that's so strange, person tapping on the shoulder. What's that feel like? And people like, it's so weird. It feels stuck. You can use whatever metaphor you want. Now, to the people in the audience, this is going to look like you are a wizard or a witch. People might start throwing holy water at you and saying, devil child, devil child, devil child. That's okay. Then I just do an induction, which guess what? Who cares if it's an induction or not? I just say this. Great. Now that same heaviness that's in your eyes is going to go into your head and your neck. In a moment, I'll count backwards from 5 down to 1. When I count backwards from 5 down to 1, your head is going to drop down as if you're touching your chin to your chest. 5, your head is getting heavy. 4, feeling it droop down now. 3, 2, and 1. And because people are now following your suggestions, you'll see everyone do what Karen just did. You'll see everyone do this. Exactly. Now people are going to start to panic in the audience, and they might call 911. They're going to think you just offed all of these people with a magic spell. They're not going to know what's going on. You were doing some type of voodoo or witchcraft. But it's easy, right? We overcomplicate this shit. Why? Why? You just tell people, close your eyes, drop your head down, and they do. And guess what? Because you're a hypnotist, oh my God, the people in the audience are going to go nuts. And then you can say, now when I lift up your arm, it's loose, limp, and floppy. And then you lift up their arm, boom. And you can say, look at how relaxed these people are right here. and you turn towards the audience and you say, would you like it if you could learn to relax just as much, just like we just did with these people up here? Would you like to learn how to do this in the audience? Okay. I actually prepared a whole guide of how you can do exactly this up here. Everyone, take out your phones, scan this QR code. Usually I have a QR code that's on a screen or on a poster. Or I'll say go to danashere.com. Then I make the joke. It's going to look like Danashere, but danashere.com. And I have my phone hooked up to that. So every time someone opts in, I get an email. And Karen, we were talking about our watch notifying us. Well, I have it set up for email. So every time I get one of those email opt-ins, my phone, that little sucker, keeps buzzing and going off. So it's going off for about 5 or 10 minutes. Well, I'm up there still messing with people. So now we have them, right? Now we have them hooked. So at that point, we can move into arm catalepsy or the hand lock. And because we already have these people, guess what? They are putty in our fingers. But you use them. You use them as an example. So that way you can now get these people to opt in to whatever you want them to opt into. And like I said, they are now, even the audience is now putty in your fingers. At this point, you can bring these people into whatever income stream you want. You can do a free consultation. You can offer them a free consultation. Add scarcity to it, though. And you can send out an email to all these people who opted in and say, I have room in my schedule this week for 5 free consultations. You can sell them. You went through the ebook. Now here's a $10 hypnosis audio. Or, here's a $97 program. And guess what the program is? The program is a combination of 4 audios and 4 videos. Plus one. The plus one is a quick start video. All of my courses that I've recorded that have sold hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars are literally 4 or 5 videos. That's it. The one that I did called Stress to Success, it's like 5 videos and 4 audios. And I call it an 8-week program. You're going to listen to this audio every week for 2 weeks, and then you're going to move on to the next one. Here are 5 videos that are going to teach you how to stop your stress in its tracks, because stress is a pattern. And that we sold for, I do a special on that one for for $97. I sell it for $497. The first time I ever sold programs at a very high price point, one of my good friends is a photography coach. He saw my hypnosis show. He said, can you come and speak to my group in Florida? So I flew down to Florida a couple of weeks later. Before I flew down to Florida, he said, hey, can you put together some programs for my group? And I said, what do they struggle with? He said, confidence issues, because all these people are portrait photographers and they struggle with selling photography. So see what I just did? I asked him, what do they struggle with? I said, what else? He said, oh, stress, because they stress over their income. So stress. I'm like, okay, what else? And he said, a lot of these people like to be behind the camera, not in front of the camera, because they have body image issues, because many of them struggle with weight. Oh, so I put together the trifecta: lose weight and feel great, stress to success, confidence on demand. I said, we'll sell all 3. Oh, and then I put a bonus. If you buy all 3, you get the bonus hypnotic sales accelerator. I said, we'll sell them all for $97. And I said, we can say they're like $40 each or $49.99 each, or they get the whole bundle for like $100. And he said, no, they're not going to buy them. I said, why won't they buy them? He said, they're not going to buy them because they're too cheap. I said, what? He said, they're not going to see the value in them. Okay. So I charged I had an order form. It said on the order form, normal price $497, conference price $397. And then it was structured so that way if they buy all three, they get the hypnotic selling one. There were 140, 150 people attending. I sold all the programs for $777. So it was either $397 each, I believe, and they can get all of them for $777 for like a conference special. I walked out that day making about 10 grand. I was like, wow. So he had me back the next year. I said, I got to come out with new programs to sell. He goes, no, you don't. Because if you think of it, only about 10 or 12 people bought your programs. There's still 100 plus people that don't have your programs. I'm like, fair point. So I went back the next year because these people had seen me the previous year. Guess what? I walked out making $18,000 that next year. The third year, things kind of stabled out a little bit. So the fourth year, I came out with a new program called Focus Unlimited. The acronym was FU. I did not realize this until we put it on the big screen and it said FU, and everyone went, oh, because this was in Montana. So why am I sharing all this with you? I'm sharing all this with you because I want to spark ideas of how you could potentially offer multiple streams of income. Think of beyond working with clients. Think of beyond just the one-to-one. And when you charge a very small amount, so usually the typical funnel is this: you give something away for free, and then you charge very small for something, and then you charge a little bit more, and then you charge a lot. Up to this point, does anybody have any questions about what I've covered thus far? If you do, you can unmute yourself and we'll jam. Okay, cool. That means I covered everything in great detail. All right, let's move on. So
I just wanted to say that I'm really appreciating all the information you're sharing with us.
Oh, thank you.
Trying to write.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate your appreciation.
Another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. While you were on your journey to making multiple levels of producing income, did you ever go on that path with somebody else, and pay somebody else to do that? I don't know what's going on with this noise here.
Grimace, there we go. Sorry, go ahead, Paul. You can unmute yourself again.
Yeah, all right. Talking about a journey that you made. Oh, now what?
Can we kick Grimace out?
Yeah. I hope that isn't a shadow self of myself, coming through. What the hell is that?
It's funny. Kids used to call me Grimace when I was in school. Hey, Karen.
Okay.
Can you kick them out, please?
Yeah. I do it for Danny. If you can't do it for Dan, do it for Danny.
Let's see.
You're muted, Michael, if you're trying to.
Yeah.
You know why? I posted this on my Facebook page. And there's some people who don't like me on my Facebook page.
That's unimaginable.
Oh, I appreciate that.
But also, I mean, I'm just saying, you've had a lot of creative ideas, innovative ideas for yourself as you made your journey, from being a teenager into, becoming, a hypnosis superstar right now. And I'm just wondering, along the way, did you follow somebody else's path? Oh, fuck.
That's a good question, Paul. You gotta love. Sorry, Paul. That's a really good question. So, there weren't many people to model when I was going down this path. My really good friend Jason Lynette, he was already doing a lot of the online programs and online products. So when I say model, he and I would collaborate with a lot of things. We'd share a lot of strategies back and forth. Model though, it would thank you. Thank you. Model though, I'll tell you where some hypnotists that I was inspired by. Paul McKenna. I absolutely love Paul McKenna's
Indeed.
ease,
Indeed.
right? He just has such a natural ability to teach and share all at the same time. And I love his just the flow. So I actually modeled some of my programs after some of the things that he teaches. And if you ever need a way to very easily and naturally teach your clients something, Paul McKenna's books and courses are just filled with just such amazing natural ways to help people make changes.
I just want to throw this out, Dan. I don't mean to interrupt, but
yeah, go ahead.
Still get his learning channel, I Can Make You Thin series on, you can't get all of them, but you can get a few of them on YouTube. It is worth the watch because you will learn some amazing things. Whether you work with weight loss clients or not, you will learn some amazing techniques. Sorry to interrupt, to pass that on, but yeah, he's great.
No, that's great. And yeah, if you search Paul McKenna on YouTube, a lot of his stuff will come up. Now I want to address what just happened. We clearly had someone invade the group, and we don't know why. But that happens sometimes. And you know what you do? You move on. That's all. You move on. And you accept the fact that some people are going to be jerks, and you let them. You just let them until you kick them out.
I'm also asking for Karen and Michael, has this ever happened to you guys in a previous session?
Not really, but in any case, whoever this guy was, I finally sent him to a waiting room. I don't even know how to get to the waiting room to let him out of there, but he's in waiting room hell on us. And
okay, because I just want to, because I went to a Larry Garrett. He has soirees once a month, on this first Sunday of the month, and then there was a hacker there too, and it was really terrible. It was pornographic. And then it also had the names of the people who were participants saying, blah, 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 you're being hacked by such and such. And with kind of an Arabic name and it was like going one name to the other. So I don't know how common this is.
Well, if you don't mind, let's not keep that out in the universe. It doesn't happen here very often. I think it came on the wave of Dan's massive success.
That was
okay.
exactly.
All right, Dan.
You're successful.
It's Danny.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Aside from Paul McKenna, who I really love listening to, his stuff on YouTube and all that. Everybody else, I mean, and you're talking to Jason Lynette and getting creative ideas, but before then, was there any kind of maestro or
actually, yes,
mentor that you had to get you into this business?
Jerry Valley and Ormond McGill were two of my mentors that I was very fortunate to learn from. And Jerry, he was like, "Kid, I'm gonna make you a millionaire. I'm gonna make you a millionaire." Jerry was just Jerry Valley was amazing, and also later on, Lisa Halpin was an amazing mentor of mine, and Lisa recently suddenly passed away right around Thanksgiving. She suddenly passed, and her and I were very good friends. We talked every week. Sometimes we talked every day, and it just goes to show you how precious and fragile life can be. So I want to move on a little bit. Someone has said, Dan, so do you recommend to choose a niche and focus on that? Yes, I do. The anxiety niche kind of fell into my lap. And I got to thank Kim Turgeon for that. Kim is involved or was involved and Kim is on tonight. Kim was involved and may still be involved in a PANDAS organization. PANDAS is a condition that kids get, swelling in the brain if they have tonsillitis or strep repeatedly, and it can cause all kinds of behavioral issues. So Kim actually started sending me a bunch of clients because I think she was like president of the parent organization. So she hooked me up with a doctor that specialized in kids who had anxiety and because of this condition, and it just blew up from there. And the doctor said, "You're like the anxiety guy." I'm like, "No, there's already an anxiety guy." He goes, "Well, you're the anxiety relief guy then." Yeah. So I do recommend sticking with a niche or choosing a niche. And if you don't choose a niche, just ask people, like, just like I did with that photography coach. I asked, like, "Hey, what do your people need the most? Like, what are they struggling with the most that I might be able to help with?" And you'll get some really good feedback that way. Some additional areas of branching out to income, activities, local adult education programs. So a lot of colleges, community colleges, have continuing ed programs. I taught a 6-week self-hypnosis course at a community college, and then they called me and they said, "Hey, Dan, can you teach dentistry?" And I was taught to say yes first. So I said, "I absolutely can." And I taught dentistry at this college. But I taught pain control and like hypnodontics kind of to the dental hygienist. So teaching classes, doing groups, doing speaking. Now, like I said, not all places are going to pay you to speak. So that's why you do want to have a CTA or call to action afterwards. Content in the form of newsletters, books, blogs, podcasts, videos, online programs. These can all lead to additional streams of income. And I know there are various levels of education about. Some people know what a marketing funnel is, and some people think I'm speaking Japanese when I say the word marketing funnel, and that's perfectly fine. You don't need these fancy websites and landing pages and everything like that to have multiple streams of income. It's very easy where originally I would upload my programs to Google Drive folder. People would PayPal me. Now we have Venmo, and I just send them the link to the Google Drive folder. The one objection people have with that is, can't they share it easily? Yes, they can. I don't care. When we get caught up with that stuff, it can be really destructive. There was a mentoring. She had a group practice for smoking cessation and weight loss as part of her program. She would give people CDs. She found out that people were giving the CDs to their family members, and she got really, really upset. And she ended up closing down her entire practice because she thought just people are ripping her off. I'm like, you're helping other people, though, and they're going to refer other people to you. So, joint ventures. Here's the thing with any collaboration or joint ventures. You don't want a joint venture with someone who does the same thing that you do and who does it as well as you do. They have to be the peanut butter to your jelly, the cheese to your whiz, the bread to your butter. They cannot be your smooth peanut butter and their chunky peanut butter. It can't be that. Just like I collaborated with a photographer and the photography coach, collaborating with business coaches, you can give their clients an edge when you collaborate with business coaches. There's a very famous, popular hypnotist, Grace Smith, and she charges tens of thousands of dollars for her programs. She was on The Doctors. She collaborated with a very well-known business coach, and she gave all of his clients the competitive advantage. Events like stage shows, demos, collaborating or teaming up with certain days like World Hypnotism Day on January 4th. gas, the Great American Smokeout, using days like that to help promote your services. Being an affiliate to something is also another great way to make an income. There's so I do mainly group programs right now, and there are other hypnotists that send their clients, once they're done working with their clients, they send them to my monthly group program, and they sign up for my group program, and I give them a commission. So every month their client renews in the group program, they get $50. And because it's $100 a month for my group program, for one level of my group program, then it goes all the way down to $5,000 depending on the level of support that people need. Or I should say up to $5,000. So affiliates are great ways. Just going through my notes here to make sure I cover. Let's see here. There's one other thing here I want to go over. Okay. So there's what we call the 5-finger anti-procrastination protocol. This is going to help make sure you stay on point and that you stay productive throughout the new year. 5-finger anti-procrastination protocol. So each day, pick something and start. Pick something that's fast. Pick something that's fun. Pick something that's easy, pick something that's profitable, and pick something that's productive. Again, when you find yourself going into a slump, and I get this all the time, I get like kind of program overwhelm, pick something that's fast, fun, easy, profitable, productive. One of each day. So one of the things that I do that is, and you can cross off multiple. One of the things I do, I have about now 17,000 people on my email list. And about 5 times a week, I send out an email to my entire list, and that is fast. I write it in a way that's fun because I'm me and I like comedy. So I write it in a way that's fun. It's easy for me to do. It's profitable. And I feel good after I'm done. So it's productive. So sometimes you do one thing and it crosses off all 5 categories. And that one more time is fast, fun, easy, profitable, and productive. Okay. We are nearing the last 10 minutes. So we talked about doing demos. We talked about doing groups. We talked about doing online programs. We talked about selling one-off things like doing a video of the somatic reset or an audio that's just a 15 or 20-minute relaxation audio and calling it the Hypno Power Nap. We can come up with creative names for things. And selling it for maybe $10, and that gets people into you. They get a good result, and then they want to spend more with you. They become better qualified clients. I'm going to show you what I use to get a lot of clients to sign up for my higher ticket program. Is that okay if we do that? Okay. Karen and Michael, is it, let me see here. Is it okay? Oh, I can share my screen. Okay, goody. All right. So there is a way that you structure an ebook to get people to take an action after they read it. So I put together this ebook called Be Bold, the Hypnotic Cheat Code for Embracing Your Inner Badass and Achieving Next Level Success. The reason why I went with this title is because, like I said in the beginning, I've switched from doing just anxiety to focusing on more high-functioning anxiety. So I'm working with more entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs, executives, professionals. The word CEO over the past month has gotten a really bad connotation, so I try not to use that one anymore. And there is a way that you have to structure an ebook that is used for marketing purposes. So the ebook can't just be content. It's content, but there's tips in it, but it has to be structured in a way where you're getting people towards taking an action. And it has to be done in a way where it's personal and it speaks to the person. An ebook used for marketing purposes is also usually under 20 pages. So this one here that I use is, I believe, 14 pages. In a good ebook for marketing purposes, the way it's structured is there's an opening, there's a personal story that draws the reader in, and there's a transition, a bridge, and then there's 3 tips, 3 easily actionable tips. And then there's another bridge or transition, another story, and then where do we go from here? And my call to action for people, my goal is to get people into my group program, and I have different levels. I have a $97 level, $1,997 level, a $2,997 level, and then $5,000 level. So my goal is to get people in my group program. And so the whole thing is to get people to click on this link so they can schedule I call it a discovery call with me. And there's a way to structure this. And what happens is I've written ebook after ebook after ebook, and none of them got me any business until I did this one. And so I wrote this ebook and I came up with a formula of how to do it. And then I started writing ebooks for other hypnotists, and I wanted to practice. So I wrote one for Steve Rame. I wrote one for Stephanie Duane. I'm writing one for Randy Light. And the ebook this format of ebook, I posted it on my social media, and a couple other people shared it. And within 2 weeks, I had 223 new leads just from this ebook. Let me say that again. 223 people on my list that I didn't have before. Now I have their name and their email address. That's pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful. Karen and Mike, can I share? I know the goal of this isn't to market. Can I share the one thing I am marketing? Is that okay? Okay. The one thing that I'm doing, I did put an offer together for people, and I'm just going to drop it in the chat here, because you can get my ebook. So Karen dropped the link in the chat to my ebook, so you can sign up for my ebook. This is my custom offer where I am running 5 people a month. You spend an hour with me. I ask you questions. I hypnotize you to get the questions out of you that I need to write the ebook, and I write your ebook for you. That's my offer. That's the only thing I have for you. You can go buy all my other stuff. I don't want you to buy it. But you could also do it on your own too. You could use that structure that I showed you. You could model it after my ebook too. The link is up in the chat that Karen put to sign up for my Be Bold ebook. The reason why I share this with you is because people need to have an experience with you before they start working with you. And if they can get a little bit of an experience with you for free, guess what? It's going to boost the credibility that they have towards you. There are 5 things that we need in order for successful hypnosis to happen with our clients: motivation, expectation, belief, willingness, and reinforcement/repetition. Motivation. The client must be motivated to make the change, or they must want to make the change. that they're coming into you for. So if they're forced or coerced, they're probably not motivated to make the change. So motivation, expectation. They have to expect that you are the person that's going to help them make that change. That's why we put together these other programs. That's why you might even go on a podcast episode and be interviewed on somebody else's podcast, because it boosts your credibility, and then you can share that with your incoming clients. I don't just share this ebook and also other podcasts that I do. I don't just share that with people who are coming into my world. I share it with people before they be as people are becoming my clients. So after I have a consultation with somebody and somebody has already signed up to pay me, I send them one of my podcast episodes, or I'll send them the ebook just so they can get a little more accustomed to what I do. That's why there's power in book, blog, broadcast. Book. It could be an ebook. It could be a physical book. It could be a long book. It could be a short book. You could also be a co-author of somebody's book. Book, blog, meaning not just blog, written blog, vlog, video blog. I don't remember if it was Karen or it was Joe Moon, who said, Dan, I saw your dirty bread making video. I like to do comedy and different comedic things. So I posted very inappropriate bread making tutorials on my Facebook page. And they got more comments and more views than my self-help ones. So book, blog, and then broadcast, which again is usually a podcast. You don't have to do your own podcast, be a guest on somebody else's, so then you're the guest expert. Really quick, we talked about motivation, expectation, belief. They have to believe that you are the right person to help them out. Willingness, they have to be the one that's willing to be there, so they can't be forced or coerced, so similar to motivation. And also repetition, reinforcement. I do believe that in order to make change permanent and lasting, we do need some type of reinforcement or repetition. Giselle asked, how much do you use AI? You said IA, but I'm going to say you meant AI. How much do you use AI for your content? I put together AI, they call them GPTs. I put together ones for different tasks to help automate things. Before I use AI, I always personalize it myself. So what I'll do, I'll write an email myself, I'll put it in AI, and I'll say, spell check this and please make it flow better. And I say, make sure you still keep my tone. So I give it prompts so it's still Dan, because I think AI gives us a different voice, and we need to be very careful about how we use it. And we also need to make sure with AI we're working within our scope of practice, because I can't tell you how many times a hypnotist has confided in me that they used AI to create a script and it got them in deep water. So we just want to be careful with that. Okay, so my friends, I know we are at 10:01, and I really want to say thank you for all of you for sticking around and just listening to me banter. And I also want to thank Grimace for coming on and being so goofy, because it broke things up. It was a good pattern interrupt, right?
Thank you for flowing with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know we're way into the into the hour. Are there any really quick questions that people want to put in the chat? And if you do put them in the chat, Karen and Michael get the chat replay, so they can send me your questions, and I can even answer them at a later time. If you have questions, just put them in the chat.
All right. Okay.
Thank you so much,
I
Dan.
have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Okay. Yeah, again, oh, door just open. One of the cats is coming in. Thanks, Susan. You're an anxiety relief guy as you position yourself. Now, how much anxiety do you personally have to deal with, and how much do you have to relieve yourself of it? Or is that something that's, it's out of your universe? I mean, how
I am
much?
constantly practicing every single thing that I preach. go over to my personal Facebook page, which is just Dan Candell, and follow me over there. You'll see my mom has crippling dementia. I am in the middle of a shitstorm of life right now. And I'm constantly putting into practice the same damn things that I teach my clients every single day.
He walks the walk, Paul. He really
Righto.
walks the talk. He
Got
does
it.
it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys for joining us so much tonight. Dan, thank you as always. You are just incredible. And if you guys would open your microphones and give him the send off that he so richly deserves. I'm going to miss you in February. I'm going to be at my daughter's wedding, but
I'm so
and Michael will take care of you wonderfully next month.
good.
Yes.
And I almost forgot to say how I end every single thing. Be well, do good, be true to who you are, and happy hypnotizing.
Thank you, Dan.
Good night, everyone.
Appreciate it.
Good night.
Oh, Danny boy.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Great job. Thank you, guys.